Back with more Walking Dead. This is episode 15 of season 11. Very excited as always to see what's going to be happening next. So this is the penultimate episode of the second part of the season. So next week is the mid-season finale, and then we go on break for a bit, and then it's the last 8 episodes, which is nuts. I think before it comes back, Tales of the Walking Dead is going to air, like the 6-part thing. So that's going to bridge the gap, I believe, is the plan. I could be completely wrong there. Either way, focusing on the here and now, I'm excited to see where the focus is going to lie on this one. I don't know if we're going to be like amping up the tension even more in preparation for the mid-season finale, or if this is going to be, checking in with characters we haven't seen for a bit. I'm not sure. But we've had some really strong episodes recently. I liked the last one as like a conclusion to the mini arc, I guess, of what was going on with one of the coups that Lance was trying to pull, Hornsby the snake, and all the conclusion to that, and running into Negan again, and he's married and got a kid on the way. Herschel found out that Negan was the one who killed Glenn. It was all very emotional and tense, and so is that going to be what we continue focusing on? And we're going to be switching the action to somewhere else for now. I'm excited regardless, so let's just jump into the next one. Oh boy. Wow. Oh, they've made it a crime scene.
The people here killed every last one of our trained, armed, and armored soldiers, but not you two. The one-armed guy and the priest. Then they killed.
Have you seen what he's got instead of the arm? Yeah, I'm sure he knows that there's more to it, but
It also doesn't make sense for the two of you to lie to protect a bunch of crazed violent strangers.
It doesn't make sense for you to be a dick, but you are.
Are you calling us lawyers?
I ain't calling you a truther.
We're not going to take the fall for this.
The other guy fell though. Splat.
We'll start with the Hilltop. See if our friends heard anything. At the very least, they should know there's
Oh,
some very
dear.
dangerous people who might be coming their way.
This is all Hornsby's fault, and he's going to get all pissy about it. Oh, make it stop. Oh, damn, okay.
I think you're part robot.
Listen, you get me.
Oh, it's nice seeing this side of him. Probably means he's going to die, but
I'm fine.
he's not fine. Is he just pissed off at the corruption, or is he haunted by killing those guys?
They wanted us to stay quiet, but I think about that woman, April, and what they all went through. There are good people here.
But if they report on this, people are going to get in trouble, and Oh.
April Martins. Happy to hear it, right?
I see that.
Is it like the list of people they've sent on dodgy
No, there are
stuff?
way more.
We need inside access to dig it out.
Oh, Max could help.
Know someone? Good day, young friends.
Yay!
Drink deep from the cup of knowledge.
It's complicated, and something happened, and then things went all sideways. And
Sure.
Hey,
That's the show.
Just trust me.
I trust you more than anyone.
Oh,
Think this place would make life easier, huh?
no. Never. Oh, I think he's going to kind of want to reconnect. I don't know if that's what she wants, though, because it's still a lot with what happened to Henry and stuff.
I was told you can handle yourselves. Where's the problem?
This guy. Yeah. Oh. Unhinged! Unhinged! Blink! Blink! You weirdo.
Helmet on, soldier.
You're a helmet. Oh, is this going to be the flash forward we got at the end of the premiere?
This is about a friend of mine. She's sick and can't afford the treatment. Won't put her family in debt. She needs a small procedure. I lost a patient this morning.
Oh dear. He didn't even want to be a doctor, did he? It was only when he got found out that they probably forced him to do it.
This involves the mutants?
Young psychopath, at least.
Young psychopath.
Okay, you could have let that bit of...
Yeah, it's a lot to ask her.
Doesn't have to be this way.
Here we go. Yeah, this is the flash forward bit.
Yeah. It does.
And it comes full circle.
People lost their lives because I failed. I missed it. The weight of that is mine to carry, not yours.
Damn.
I'm not a little kid anymore, Mike.
You think that kind of insubordination is gonna slide? Then what?
It's true.
What if I disappear?
Yeah, he's thinking of her as well as himself.
They listen to you. They look up to you. Literally.
Someone dressed as you for Halloween.
I like that. Just that's so true.
But you can be so much more.
Yeah, and I think he will be. Oh boy.
Poor guy was worried about coloring outside the lines. You're handling it well. Maybe even enjoying it.
Well, he's
Sheriff Rube.
quite possibly drunk. Oh. Uh-oh. Well, great start.
You know we found tire tracks at the scene?
Wow.
California these days. Got some-
I mean, there seems to be quite a few.
I come from a long line of gearheads. You mind?
Oh, I have gearheads. Oh, this car has tyres. Ooh. Slam the thing. Quick and easy. No one's spontaneously combusted on this show yet. It's like the only death they haven't done. Maybe now's the time for that. Oh, well, how about that? Knob.
Thanks for the description.
Oh. She does have friends in high places.
New job of yours had connections here.
Mhm.
Come on, mention your name. Ezekiel, please tell me your friend is human.
And please tell me your sanitary working space isn't a zoo.
You really have been busy.
Got a debt to repay.
Is my
patient already here?
So he's like helping the people who don't have a Carol to like boost them up the list.
But I can't handle heavy stuff too.
Oh, we know.
I killed 2 of my men.
Yeah. God, he looks so scared. Oh.
I'll do it again.
Some things have to be done. I do feel that they should have this conversation inside, not in a corridor where everyone can hear them.
Why don't we go inside and we figure it out together?
Aww. Wholesome. Love these two. He's a fantastic actor. He can do so much with his eyes. No. If that's Glenn's grave, I'm jumping out the window. That was Glenn's grave. I'm jumping out the window. Be right back.
Herschel, right? I'm Lance.
Leave him alone.
The last thing I want, Herschel, is for something to happen here.
Oh my god, you are the lowest of the low. Kick him in the balls.
I found this hat all the way back where the bad things happen. Be a shame for a nice hat like this to go to waste.
You son of a bitch.
I'll be damned. Perfect fit.
Like most hats fits on heads. Yes.
I'm a nice guy, man.
Please.
I'll even let you back down.
It's the funniest thing he's ever said.
Plenty of us made the mistake of threatening our family. Most of them are dead now.
Time to drop the guns before something really fucking bad happens.
Ooh. An F-bomb in The Walking Dead. That's rare.
Everyone lower your weapons. That's an order.
Yes, that's the smart thing to do. Sadly, he is smart.
Sorry if there was any miscommunication.
Oh my god, this guy. Ah, he's such a good villain though. He's so frustrating. Blink! He's so... Oh.
You find something? Show me.
Oh. What did they find?
And it was important to me that my friend know just how much I appreciate it.
Oh.
The lights, too.
It's like when we first met him. He's like this
Right
positive
here.
caricature.
We know we're not getting back together.
Oh.
Yeah, you keep saying that. Get more goals.
More cause for concern. Ugh. Suddenly turned to Hobby City. Okay. Good sign.
Small procedure. Nothing to worry about.
Well, now you've said it.
There is no back to normal. We know what we know. Because of that, things have to change.
Yeah.
I'll be by your side, hell or high water.
Sure.
Against all laws of the cosmos,
We'll see.
humankind, we found one another.
Hey. Oh. Here comes trouble. Oh, this is what they found. Oh!
Come a long way to find you.
What I would give for her to just shoot in between the eyes right now.
Not easy to track down.
Be so funny.
My name is Lance Hornsby. And I'm here to offer you a job.
Oh dear. Okay, another very good episode. Certainly setting the stage for an interesting mid-season finale, particularly with the end scene there with Leah. What job he has for her, I don't know. Obviously something incredibly shady because it's Hornsby. I don't know. I mean, all he knows really about her is that she stole the guns. I would assume he's kind of worked that out by this point. He's a smart man. I don't know if she knows about her connection to Daryl or not. I don't know if he really knows much about her outside of like just the basics. So I don't know if he's hiring her for something like a personal vendetta or investigating something. I imagine it's got to be like infiltrate X place for some reason or kill this person, kill these people. I'm guessing it's got to be something along those lines. Exactly what, I'm sure we'll find out in the next one. That feels like a big enough conflict for like a mid-season finale to address. But probably something to do with Daryl. I feel like that's got to be the case. Or at least Daryl will get involved in it somehow because it's Leah. So yeah, I'm intrigued by what that could mean and what's going on with that. But what a surprise. Hornsby's doing a dodgy deal behind everyone's back. What a surprise. He hasn't done like 50 of those already just in these like 8 episodes. But yeah, that Hornsby... He's got a lot of focus in this second part, and I don't know if that's because he's going to die in the next one, or it's just going to get more and more kind of intense with him, and he's like the endgame big bad of the show. I'm not sure what they're going for with that. I hope he doesn't die in the next one. I hope we get a bit more of him, because while he is infuriating, you know, that is kind of the point. They're doing a very good job with it. The actor's fantastic. You know, just the fact that he just hardly ever blinks when he talks to people. It's unnerving. And because you kind of see him, you don't see him as like a physical threat, obviously, because he's always surrounded by an army of stormtroopers. And he never kind of gets involved in a fight himself, unless it's a small child, evidently. And he completely freezes up, like when Elijah pushed him against the wall. He just completely like, oh shit. Pretty sure he, excreted during that little confrontation. But you know, while he doesn't have that side of things, like, oh wow, you know, I don't want to get a fight with this guy. His like intelligence and what he's capable of like convincing people to do, or what he's able to present himself as to a lot of people. You know, people like Maggie and Daryl and stuff. I think they see through his bullshit fairly easily, but he seems to be able to convince a lot that, you know, he forces people to underestimate him, I think, and that's why him being like a physical threat doesn't matter to him, that he's not, because he can do all this shady stuff behind the scenes. So I like that this is another thing on that pile of shady things, but how big is he going to make that pile before it falls over and crushes him? I think that's going to be the inevitable thing. I think it's going to be his own downfall, probably. He's just going to do one shady deal too far, and that's going to kick him up the arse in the end, I think. Or Pamela will do something with that. I do think they're setting up Lance to be more of a villain than Pamela. You know, some people are kind of saying, oh, I don't think Pamela's that bad. At worst, she's a racist. Because we had that scene a few episodes back where it was strongly implied, like a woman that was working with Magna in the restaurant, she was like, oh, my kids won't get these privileges, blah, blah, blah. And it's strongly implied it was because her family was black that, you know, she doesn't get like rewards and stuff like that. She's not going to get higher up positions. So maybe that's just the base level of why Pamela's awful. We know Sebastian's a psychopath and he's awful. But maybe Hornsby's like the big one who's like, Jesus Christ, you are something else. He's a right piece of work, and I do enjoy him for that. But at the same time, you know, I really hope he gets a very satisfying death when the inevitable time comes. Hopefully he gets his what for soonish, maybe close to the end of the show rather than like next week or whatever. But yeah, I'm really enjoying him knowing that Gabriel and Aaron were completely lying through their teeth about what was going on and what really happened. And he was like, well then, you know, if Daryl says you're capable fighters, you can take out these walkers on your own. And if they die, they die. He's not going to give a shit, is he? He's like, oh, well, if there are killers on the loose, which there clearly are, as that's what you've told me, we better investigate Hilltop, etc. I don't know if he's also going to, like, go to Alexandria and Oceanside as well and be like, oh, where are you hiding those killers? Maybe that's something for him to do in the next one. I'm not sure. Now that the Hilltop has kind of kicked him out, really. But yeah, I did enjoy the mind games that he was playing with that and all the manipulation. He was just, I think he knows that they've kind of lied to him and he's just desperately searching for that proof. And, you know, he's picking a fight with, again, a group of very smart people who are physically capable, whereas he's not, which is why I think in the end they'll have the advantage. But it's just, you know, game of chess right now between people like Hornsby and Maggie and Daryl. And I do enjoy seeing that all play out. And I do like the moment when he was trying to get the car to start to maybe prove that, and not outrightly tell them, like, I know that you're lying to me, or this is how I could prove that you're involved in all this. But then obviously it didn't work in the end. So that was great, very satisfying. As was him, Elijah just shoving him against the wall when he caught him talking to Herschel. I'm sure the whole thing with the cap, I imagine that was bullshit. Glenn didn't have a cap on him, as far as I'm aware. He wasn't wearing one, etc. When he died. So I imagine he just spun a bullshit story about that, probably. Or he just stole a cap Herschel already had. Because we have seen Herschel with a cap like that already. He's like, oh, perfect fit, how about that? So he probably orchestrated that. But it just shows how low he's willing to go, I think, to try and get information. Like, he was like, oh, if they won't talk, maybe a child will. And he didn't even get a child to talk to him. And I think that's why Hornsby will ultimately fail. Even the child was like, nah, you're stranger danger, mate. You're dodgy as hell. So that was a good moment as well. Lots of moments quite tense like that in this episode that I enjoyed with that side of things. Also cool to see in context the flash forward we got at the end of episode 9 with Daryl walking up to the Hilltop in the armour. Because at that point we hadn't seen him don the armour. And we could see in context, you know, it wasn't like they were on opposite sides or anything, really. It was cool to get the context of that. I thought that might be something that they did in the mid-season finale next week, but I like that we kind of got answers about what that was all about here. So that was good to get a mystery solved about exactly what was going on with that flash forward. But yeah, building the tension more and more with that side of things was great. And then Commonwealth side of things, I guess we could talk about. I liked I'd forgotten that Connie and Kelly had been given that list of names. I still didn't know who did that. At the time I thought it was Mercer, but I feel like Mercer's only just kind of starting to maybe get into that mindset of maybe we could do something about this. So I don't know who that actually was. Maybe it still could have been, because he's been open that he knows the Commonwealth is flawed. I think Max now is even more so willing to do something about it than Mercer is right now. He might take a bit more convincing still. Should I call him Mike, not Mercer? It feels wrong to call him Mike. You know, that's such an intimidating man. I don't want to just say, oh, Mike. You know, I think Mercer's more appropriate. He's just more badass. But yeah, I'd forgotten they'd been given that list of names. I like how that tied back into, you know, April's name was on that list and exactly what's going on with that, because that's more than the 30 people that Sebastian sent to that house to get the money. So are there more dodgy jobs? And it's just like collating all the names there. Exactly what's going on with that, I'm intrigued by. I did like that Rosita, again, starting to doubt the Commonwealth more and more. She saw that there was a bit of an uprising happening at the end of one episode in this part of the season. I remember that. That's probably episode 10 or something. I think she found that at the end. But now she's actively trying to like get involved with that, I guess, and try and get this conspiracies out in the open by approaching Eugene, and then they went to Connie. I am concerned like getting that published. They probably just won't allow it anyway, but if that does get out, you know, that's going to cause a huge spiral in the Commonwealth, and people are going to be annoyed. Pamela, you know, Hornsby among them. You know, I think the status quo is definitely going to be changed and shaken up in the Commonwealth very, very soon if things like that start happening more and more. But I am quite excited to see the Empire come tumbling down, because I think they just need to burn it to the ground and start again with new people in charge, better people in charge. Mercer probably being one of them. You know, Max was kind of saying you could be so much more here, people look up to you, and I think that's maybe where that's going to go with his character in the end, because he's definitely going to be more on our side against the Miltons and co, I would imagine. Same with Max, she's very much on our side now as well. Like the her and Eugene are clearly, you know, they're exploring their bond a lot. So I like that things seem to be working out with them. Again, that probably means certain doom for at least one of them by the end of the show, because people can't be happy for too long. So we'll see. Are they going to bite off more that they can chew with that? Who knows? But I did like that they've patched things up and they're starting to build a relationship of their own. That was cool. That Eugene can bounce back from the whole fake Stephanie thing. So yeah, that was great. And just to see a bit more of Max's character as well, and a bit more of Mercer. Just see what he's actually like, and see like their bond as siblings. You know, he's always been looking out for her in that way, and she probably wants him to open up a bit more to her. I think she's a bit frustrated by that, just as Princess seemed to be. She could sense that something was bothering him, but he was just completely shut off from it. But I like that he kind of came around by the end and apologised to Princess, and they seem to be kind of patching things up as well after that. I really like those two together. I think they're a really interesting couple, Princess and Mercer. I think they go together very well. And I like that we're seeing a more vulnerable side to him, and we're seeing him open up a lot more. We're seeing him outside of the armour. So quite literally, you know, we're seeing a lot more of his character and how he actually ticks when he takes his armour off, literally and metaphorically, as a costume and as a character. So I quite like that we're learning a lot more about who he is when he's not wearing his armour. I think that's a cool detail. So yeah, that was all really cool with those two, and I like that he was opening up about shooting his own people. I assume that's what was bothering him, and the fact that he'd do it again if he needed to. I think that shows where things may ultimately go with, you know, needing to fix the Commonwealth and make it better. And I think he kind of told Princess that, maybe expecting her to be like push him away, and he seems so scared to tell her. So I don't think he wanted to ruin things between them. But Princess has had her own shit. She's got her own troubles. She's seen, you know, she's got her own flaws and stuff as well, as we saw in her little solo episode at the end of last season. And I like that she's like, you know, I may have this wacky personality on the outside. I'm very like open and engaged and loud, talkative. I wear a pink fluffy jacket most of the time. But she can handle the tough shit as well. She can handle the darker stuff, and we've certainly seen that, and that's just in her own head. She can deal with that, and she's experiencing that. So she understands those darker moments that Mercer kind of experiences and the darker thoughts that he has, because she's gone through them as well, and we've seen that. Because she beat up that stormtrooper and ruined his life, as we saw a few episodes back. Whoopsie. I hope we pick up on that stormtrooper guy again, see what's he up to. They probably just killed him, but who knows. But yeah, I like that she didn't just push him away from that. She's like, let's just work through it together. So love those two a lot. The guy who plays Mercer is an excellent actor. Like, his eyes in that scene where he was telling Princess everything, you could just see how scared he was. You know, I think eye acting is incredibly difficult. And that's a sign of a good actor, I think, is when it's all in the eyes. And there's a lot of that with him in this episode, and also the guy who plays Hornsby, and his lack of blinking, which is just terrifying. So loved everything with that side of things as well, just building up these newer characters from the Commonwealth that we've met, making us fall in love with them before they probably kill them all. We'll see. And then alongside that, we had the stuff with Ezekiel and Carol. I love how well those two know each other. He knew, like, oh, you've got a side job, okay, and it's probably higher up and involved with the Commonwealth soldiers. You know, she has those means of worming her way into higher positions like that, making connections like that, and his assumptions were proved correct when he managed to mention her name and bail them out when they got caught. So that was all cool. I really like their bond a lot. And I want them to get back together. I don't know if they will. I kind of hope so. I really like their bond, and I think they kind of did like a 6-year time jump, but they were married for years, right? So I love that they always explore that bond, and even if they just stay friends, I'm glad that they're still exploring that deep connection those two have. Because I think the chemistry between them both is really, really good, and the actors are great. So I liked that. I like Ezekiel. He just will not let something good happen to him and not try and pass that on to others and do good for others as well. He can't just be about himself for a minute. He has to help everyone else. So he's setting up this like secret private hospital almost and getting people treated in that way. Probably the more like minor stuff, but obviously he needed to get Tommy then involved in that. Is it Tommy or Tommy? I can never remember. But Yumako's brother, the doctor guy, getting him involved. Like, I thought that was a really nice detail that Ezekiel he's always going to want to help people, and that kind of selfless side to him I really love. And just to see that he's hopefully getting better. Again, it's probably going to be one of those things where he's like, hooray, I'm cured, the cancer's gone, boom, bus. Probably. If they get a bus working again in the Commonwealth and then just rolls down the hill and crushes him probably as soon as he's given the all clear. But at least for now, he seems to be better, which I'm very, very happy about. And I like that with his new lease of life, he's been inspired by that, and he's doing good for others because of it. Yeah, everything with the doctor guy, Tommy, I think it is. He's clearly got his own issues still because he's, under the pressure, he turns to drink without much hesitation, which isn't great. I'm sure that'll be addressed at some point. Hopefully Yumako can kind of help her brother out with that. But he's still, I guess, good enough at his job to be able to get things done properly, and probably helped that Ezekiel and Carol were helping him out on that operation. But I'm glad things worked out in the end with that. And it's nice to see someone doing something sneaky on the side, behind the scenes from everything else, but for the benefit of people and for the good of people, and it's like a positive thing rather than everything Hornsby's been doing with all his different side jobs and dodgy stuff. So it was cool to kind of get a contrast to that as well. So even there's stuff going on in the Commonwealth that people don't realise, but some of it's good as well. And maybe that's more so the thing that could, be used in the future when we, fingers crossed, get rid of the Miltons and get rid of Hornsby and maybe make the Commonwealth a much more positive force for good, and a really strong, good community to live in ultimately. I'm hoping that's the happily ever after end of the show, is making the Commonwealth a good place to live and they're all just there happily ever after. But is that going to be the case? Probably not. So we'll see. But I liked all of that storyline as well. So some really great stuff going on. Fantastic character moments all throughout. Great tension as well. Getting a few answers with regards to the flash forward we had a few episodes back. Hornsby, I think, is continuing to show what a really cool, interesting villain he is. Bringing Leah back into the fold, sure, why not? I guess I'm kind of on Leah as a character anyway. I feel like the Reaper stuff is just done, so the fact that they're giving her something a bit more solo to do could be an interesting way of going about it. We'll see what happens, but that's probably a big confrontation to pay out in the mid-season finale next week. So I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to seeing where they wrap up a lot of what this part of the season's been going for, how they maybe set up the final part of the season. Madness that we only have 9 episodes of the entire show left. But yeah, we're on a streak of fantastic few episodes. So I'm very hyped to see what goes down next week. Very scared as well. We might lose someone. It's the mid-season finale, so who can say? But yeah, fantastic episode yet again. Can't wait to see where things go in the mid-season finale. And yeah, I think that's kind of everything for now. So yeah, gonna wrap it up. As I'm recording this, lovely folks at AMC just blocked 2 of my reactions. I think it's episode 12 and 13 they've blocked. I've appealed them, I'll try and get them unblocked, but if not, then whoops. I thought flipping the footage like I've done the last few reactions was working. Apparently not. It still hasn't really helped. So that's a shame, but not much else I can really do right now. So that's a problem for future Liam. When the show is done, I'll probably go back and try and get reactions publicly viewed to the entire show. We'll see. But for now, fantastic episode. Can't wait for the mid-season finale next week. And until then, thanks for watching.